everyone. Today we're going to overview the basic Excel formula, and then datas are set, so we're just trying to focus on apply formula to fill out all this quick summaries. Okay, so we're gonna start with the total. So we did it so many times, so make the shortcuts like Alt H U S to sum up, and then Control C, and then Alt 1 to paste it. And the problem is price. So for the price, summing doesn't make sense, right? So in the real world, we normally show the total average price. So we're just gonna equal amount divided by quantity. That's it. Now let's move on to the average. This cell, we're gonna use the function. So just equal average, and then choose the area, and then enter. And we're gonna copy this and then paste with Alt 1 like this, right? And as you can see here, this average and this average is different because the one we use function is average of the price they listed, right? So in this case, it's not weighted based on the quantity. So we gotta change this function by equals amount divided by quantity. And now it's true, right? So in the real world, if you gotta use average for the price, you gotta be careful. And then please keep in mind, we always use the weighted average price. So move on to the summary, and then we're gonna check how many employees in the team. So we can actually drag it and check the count, or we can use the functions called COUNTIFs, so equal count. And then just choose the area over here and enter. And then now it's 5, right? And let's see the total products. So if I'm gonna use the counter over here, same as the cell above, like this, it also shows 5. But the problem is the monitor and the keyboards are repeated. So they do have duplicate. So in this case, only counter is not enough. So in this one, we're gonna put the unique to delete the duplicate and then enter. Now you can see the 3. So keyboard, monitor, and the mouse, the total 3 products, right? Then now let's see high single sales. So in this case, we're gonna use the max and then check what is the max number among these lists and enter. And the 300 is the top, and the Lisa is the top seller, right? And then the opposite way, the lowest, we're gonna use the minimum, and then choose the same area and enter. And the 90 is the lowest, so Charlie, he has room to improve, right? So that's it for class, and then we'll level it out with if formula next time. So see you there. Hello everyone, today we're going to learn about the logical functions in Excel. So let's start with the performance rating. So here's the rating table, and then we're going to assess people based on their score. So let's start with if. So if their score is greater or same as 90, so 90, comma, we're going to return excellent over here. And then we're going to use F4 to lock it, and then comma. Or if, one more if, the score is greater or the same as 80, then we're going to return good over here, F4 to fix it. And then one more if the score, once again, score is greater or the same as 70 over here, 70, we're going to return average, F4 to lock it. And other than, we're going to just return just below average, F4. And then close it, enter. And then as you can see here, the score is more than 90, it's excellent. And then copy, and then paste it. And then now it's automatically filled out. Now let's see who qualifies for the bonus. So here's the rule. So score should be more than 85 and the attendance should be more than 90, right? So in this case, we're going to use if and and together. Okay, so let's start with the if. So if, and then type and. So the score should be more or the same as 85, and the attendance should be more than or the same as 90. And then close it. And then if it's true, we're going to return bonus, so which is yes. And otherwise, it will say no. And then close it. And then Control C, and then paste it. All right, so we can see the 2 people is eligible for the bonus. Next up, we're gonna see who needs extra attention. So for the flag, so the score is under 70 or the attendance is under 75, they need coach. So we're gonna use if and or in this case. So start with if, and then in this case, I'm gonna type or. So the score is less than 70 or the attendance is less than 75, we're gonna say yes as a flag. And otherwise, just no, so just leave it as blank, like this. And then Control C, and then Control V to paste, right? So now you can see, so there are 2 people to be reviewed. So now move on to the team performance table. So we're gonna calculate how many employees in each team, right? So in this case, we're gonna use the COUNTIF. So equal COUNTIF. And then select the area over here, right? And then F4 to fix it, and comma. And then this one, the department should be the sales. So in this case, we're gonna fix only I cell, okay? And then enter. And then Control C and Control V. And as you can see here, so 3 in sales, 3 in support team. Now we're going to calculate the average score and attendance for each team. So in this case, we're going to use AVERAGEIFS, this one, and then choose the average range as score and then fix it with the F4. And then for the criteria range, we're going to choose department and then lock it with F4. And then for the criteria, we're going to choose sales and lock it only for the column. All right, and then enter. And then Control C and Control V. And then this is the average score for each team. And then for the attendance, we're going to do the same. So let me copy the score, Control C and Control V. And then press F2, and then we're going to adjust the area from score to attendance. And then enter. So this is average attendance for the sales team. And then we're going to copy and then paste. And this is the average attendance for support team. Now we're going to calculate how many excellent performers for each team. So in this case, I'm going to use COUNTIFs. And then we do have 2 criteria. So the department should be the sales. So F4 to lock it, and then it should be the sales. And then the other criteria, the performance rating, F4, and then should be the excellent. So in this case, should be the excellent. Okay, and then close it and then enter. And as you can see here, the excellent performance is 1 in sales team and Control C and Control V. So 1 as well in support team. Now let's do it again. So we're gonna calculate the how many flagged employees in each team. So we're gonna use the same COUNTIFs. So in this one, Control C and then Control V, and then press F2, and we'll see the department should be sales, and for the next criteria, it should be the flag. So change the area, and then change the criteria as yes, and then enter. And then no one got flagged, but Control C, Control V for support, and then they do have 2 employees that has to be reviewed. Now we are all set for the data. Then let's do the final touch with changing the colors. So for the performance rating, we're going to change the excellent into blue color, and then below average change into the red color with the conditional formatting. So choose the area first, and then click the conditional formatting, and then go to the text that contains. All right. And then if the text contains the excellent, we're going to change the color as blue over here, the blue color. And then let's do again with the below average. So also text contain below, we're gonna change the color with the red color, this one. Okay, all right. So now all set. And then let's do it again for the bonus. So this one, for the bonus, is positive. So if the text contains yes, we're going to change the color with blue. So which is positive, they're going to receive the bonus. And for the flag, it's the opposite. So even though it's the same as contain yes, but in this case, it's flagged for review, so it's negative. So let me change the color into red. And Control S to save it. So this is it for the class, and see you next time for lookup functions.